Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So I have a question. How much does it cost to be fat? How much does it cost to be a big bag? How much money does it cost for you to achieve your weight loss goals? Because I did a video recently. It was something about getting rid of big back behaviors. And this is going to be basically a part two or part three of that series because I was thinking about this today. Being fat is actually very expensive because first, I have to pay for more food because I can't just eat an avocado and be good. No, I have to pay for like two or three different meals. I have to go to Burger King 3 times a day. So there's that. And then I have to pay for bigger clothing. And we all know that generally speaking, plus size clothing, a lot of times it can be expensive or like you rip your clothes and shit because you'll be wearing leggings. Next thing you know, the leggings have a hole in them because your thighs are rubbing together. So you're basically starting a fire with your inner thighs just by walking. So the clothes get ripped. The underwires in your bra pop out or it breaks out of the bra because your boobs are like heavier because you're just eating a lot. So being fat is actually very expensive. And I'm not willing to pay the cost. Not to mention the fact that I have to pay money to get surgeries. I have to pay money to get liposuction or, I have to pay to get all the fat sucked out. Now I have to pay for the VSG surgery or I have to pay to get the medicine for hypertension, diabetes, and all this other BS that comes with being big. For all those people who try to give me this crap where they're like, oh, well, healthy food is expensive. Bitch, being fat is expensive. Being unhealthy and having to go to the doctor once a month because now you've got PCOS and your hormones are imbalanced and you have to like buy all these supplements, that is expensive. So I would rather pay $100 more per month in groceries so that I can eat all organic rather than having to pay to basically save my own life because I was fat and I ate fried chicken every single day. And then for the people who are like, oh, healthy food is nasty, salads are nasty. No, eating a rotten dead animal and eating this fried shit that is like covered in grease, that's nasty. Do you really want your stomach to be filled with grease? Have you ever thought about why some women's stomachs look really flabby and like just uneven and like it has dents in it and stuff? Well, it's because underneath it, they've got a whole pot of grease under there. They literally have a stomach that is filled with a whole entire skillet full of chicken grease. So that's why it's jiggling like that. That's why it looks like that. So no, I can't eat like that because I'm not willing to sacrifice my health goals just so I can have something that tastes good in the moment. And half of the shit that you guys are eating doesn't even taste good. Burger King does not taste good. McDonald's does not taste good. Wendy's does not taste that great. Their fries have no salt on them. Their fries are covered in grease and they have no salt. So it's like, okay, I literally just wasted 500 calories on some unseasoned fries from Wendy's. I just wasted 500 calories. I got no nutrients. I got no vitamin E. I got no vitamin C. This is not going to help my hair goals. It's not going to help my skin goals. Oh, and by the way, stuff that is high in sugar breaks down collagen. So now I'm going to be looking old as fuck. You know how people talk about the wall? Like, oh, she hit the wall. Well, if you're overeating sugar, that's basically you're hitting the wall with what's inside of a candy bar wrapper. So you're eating diabetes for lunch. You're eating wrinkles for dinner because all that sugar is going to cause wrinkles. You are eating acne for breakfast because you're having fried foods, having a greasy ass body that is not alkaline, that's unbalanced. Your pH is off. It's going to make your entire skin get screwed up. So it's like, why would I even eat that? And I paid money for that? So I paid money so that I could get further away from my fitness goals. So I literally paid Wendy's so that I could have bad skin and a flabby stomach and have my entire collagen breaking down. That's where I like to put my money. A lot of people don't understand that, like, when I promote being in shape and like having a nice body and stuff, this goes further than just having social power and pretty privilege. This is about making my actual life easier because being fat is expensive. I would have to pay more money so that I can get 2 plane seats because I would be so fat that I can't even fit in one seat anymore. Then I have to pay for like one of those wheelchairs or like, that electric chair that people ride in Walmart where they're like about to hit you on the aisle and shit. So I have to pay for that. And then if you're using those electric chairs in Walmart, you can't even get a lot of stuff in your cart because you can't ride in that electric chair and then push a cart at the same time. So now I have to make 2 or 3 different trips to the grocery store just to get my groceries. And then I have to pay more money because I'm eating more food. So I can't survive on just a couple $100 a month worth of groceries because I'm eating $100 of food in one day. Like if you watch my 600-pound life, those people will eat an entire loaf of bread in one day. They will eat an entire pizza in one day. So it's actually expensive to be that fat. Being fat and looking like a beluga whale, that's expensive. And on top of that, it's affecting my entire mood because whenever I have too much sugar or if I have a whole bunch of grease and salt and stuff, first of all, if I have a lot of salt, that is just going to cause me to hold water weight. Sometimes if I eat bad food, I'm gonna like get gas and stuff. So it's like you're over here with your big ass, you have hella gas, you're over here farting and shit, all because you decided to eat a 20-piece chicken wing for lunch. So you know those big Berthas at your job, the women who just eat everything? So it's like, okay, she's sitting next to you, she has gas, she has diarrhea, of course she's mad at you, of course she's being mean to you. Her entire stomach is filled with a skillet full of grease. Her stomach is bubbling up right now as I'm speaking. She literally has acid reflux. She's trying to prevent herself from burping and farting right there at her cubicle. So of course she's in a bad mood. And this is why basic Betties are usually the ones that are hating on you. They're angry because you actually have energy, because you actually know how to eat avocados and apples and you know how to eat with the seasons and stuff and how to get your vegetables in. She doesn't even know what kind of vegetables she likes because that's how rare it is for her to eat vegetables. Anytime somebody says healthy food is nasty, I know that they are a beluga whale ass bitch or they are on track to become a beluga whale by the time they hit age 40. Because there are so many options for like natural produce. Like you can eat apples, you can eat strawberries, blueberries. If you don't like fruit at all, you can have all the different kinds of vegetables. There are green beans. There are so many different kinds of fruits and vegetables and nuts and like all kinds of healthy options. So anybody who says to me, healthy food is nasty, and they literally just make a huge generalization about tens of thousands of different healthy foods, that tells me that all they eat is processed bullshit. So, of course, they think all healthy food is nasty because they don't even care about their own bodies or their own nutrients enough to even test out different vegetables. This is why I talk about pretty privilege being a form of discipline. And so, in order to build that, you would have to spend some time, you'd have to spend some money going out and trying different foods, just like how you spent $500 last month trying out all the new restaurants and you tried out all the new fast food places and you tried out the new chicken spot. Bitch, go to the farmer's market. You can try out the new vegetables that are in season. You can try out pears this month, and then maybe next month you can try out grapefruit, and then you can try watermelon, and then maybe some honeydew melon after that, and then maybe some cucumbers. So anybody who tells me that healthy food in general is just nasty, or that every time they tried something it was nasty, that shows me that they are a low effort ass bitch. They're low effort because they don't even value their own bodies and their own health enough to even try to find something that works with their body. So you're telling me that you came from this earth, or basically the things that are in this earth, they're literally a form of medicine, yet somehow your body is so fucked up to the point where none of it works for you. So you don't get any nutrients, it's bad for your taste buds, it's bad for your entire body, you don't like it at all. Is your body that messed up? Because if so, that actually tells me that your body is filled with parasites. So for that basic Betty at your job that talks crap about you drinking chicken broth and stuff like that, of course she's talking crap. Her whole entire body is filled with parasites right now. There are literal worms crawling around in her intestines right now. So of course she thinks healthy food is nasty because the parasites that are controlling her gut don't want to eat that because that would kill them off. So no wonder she's in such a bad mood. No wonder she's so jealous of you. No wonder she has so much crap to talk about your body. It's because her body is filled with parasites. Being fat is a form of self-harm. So why would I harm myself physically, mentally, and emotionally? It's emotionally and physically exhausting to be fat. I can't even walk up the stairs. I can't even walk up the hill. I can't sit. I can't stand. I'm constantly sweating. My makeup is sweating off. My skin is oily and breaking out because I had 5 cupcakes. So being fat is literally like living in a hell. And if you don't believe me, just ask anyone around you who is fat. Ask them, hey, if you had to choose between being obese and being at a healthy weight, which one would you choose? If you had to choose between being overweight and then being at a healthier weight, which one would you choose? And if she says that she would rather be unhealthy, she's a liar, or she is literally harming herself. Why would I want to be fat and walking around in the hot weather with armpit stains? My thighs are rubbing together. My leggings have ripped. I've got holes in the inner thighs of my leggings. I've ripped through my jean shorts. I'm just burning through every pair of pants that I have. I have to buy a new pair of pants every 30 days because I'm burning through them with my thunder thighs. Why would I want to put myself through that level of torment? That doesn't make any sense. And also, there's the emotional exhaustion that comes from being fat too. Like when it's time to go to the beach, now I'm feeling all insecure. I can't take my cute pictures. Like that's triggering. I feel like being fat, that would be like a walking trigger. Everybody skinny would trigger me. Everybody who's skinny, or like if I go to the gym, that's another thing. When I was fat, I didn't even want to go to the gym. Because I was like, oh, I don't want other people to see me like all, looking all sweaty and stuff and like looking bad, basically. So it's like, okay, I'm constantly sweating. And then there's the insecurity of hygiene, because if a person is like really obese, they can't even reach every part of their body when it comes to going to the shower. And if they're really fat, they can't even stand for that long because, that's all that weight on your bones. So your body skeleton has to hold up 450 pounds of weight. That sounds exhausting. So being fat, it literally causes you to be physically tired. So why would I sabotage myself and purchase food that is going to lead me down the path of being fat? And I'm not saying that like I never go out to eat and stuff. No, I literally had some burgers last week. I had like the fries that have burger meat on top of the fries. So I still have some good stuff and like a milkshake and all that, but I don't have it every freaking day. Not only is that bad for my body, but that's actually bad for my wallet. That's actually a waste of money. Because at that point, I could have just bought the ingredients on how to make my own milkshakes. Like I could have just bought some meat from the store. I mean, if you're going to eat a pound of meat every day, you might as well just buy a pound of meat from Walmart and just cook it. So being fat is literally expensive. And a lot of times people who are fat struggle with going out to eat all the time. So it's like, okay, you expect me to listen to somebody on YouTube talk about social climbing or social strategy, yet that woman is extremely overweight. So you're telling me that you overcame all of your internalized psychological inferiority complexes, but you can't even overcome a cupcake? You can't even overcome some cookies? You can't even overcome some fried chicken wings from the soul food spot? Yet I'm supposed to believe that somehow you're so leveled up and like I should take your advice. And this is what I've learned, is to never take advice from women that you wouldn't trade lives with. And this is why I say this is not an advice channel. This is more of an inspirational channel. This is just meant to get you thinking, because I'm an anonymous content creator. So you don't know who I am. I could be anybody, right? So therefore, this is not an advice channel. But one thing I'm definitely not going to do is take advice on my body or take anything seriously that any woman says about my body when her body looks horrible and she's literally unhealthy. But being fat is expensive because also you can't even fit in your car. So you have to buy an SUV, a soccer mom van, a pickup truck, a Range Rover. You have to buy cars that literally have bigger seats to be able to hold your weight, or so you can fit, because you can't ride in the small sports car because your body is literally too big, or like you can't even fit in the seatbelt. So now you have to get some tickets from the police officer because you're riding around with no seatbelt. So now you're over here getting pulled over and shit. Your foot slips and you accidentally start speeding because literally the weight of your foot, like the weight of your calves alone weigh like 80 pounds. So you're accidentally putting your foot on the gas super hard because you're fat. So then you're getting pulled over all the time, getting tickets and shit because you literally lack muscle control over your own body. So yeah, I'm not willing to put myself through that over a pizza. So you really think that I'm going to sacrifice all of the years of hard work? You think I'm going to sacrifice this body that I have curated for myself? And for those of you who do body recomposition and stuff, are you really willing to sacrifice that over a cupcake or some pizza or a night out with friends? No, I love my body, so I would like to keep it. And also, another thing that a lot of fat women won't tell you is that they are in a constant state of guilt when it comes to food. So you're telling me what to eat, or you're making fun of what I'm eating. Yet you are the one that is constantly having a psychological crisis because you decided to eat 5 slices of pizza. So you can't even control what you put in your mouth and then have the audacity to talk shit about women who have healthy bodies. But one of the benefits of being thin is you don't have that guilt when you eat a slice of pizza. You don't have guilt if you go to McDonald's one day, or if you go once a week or once every 2 weeks or something. Thin privilege is very real. And a lot of people, if you're into fashion and like dressing cute and stuff like that, your body is the outfit, sis. So like there's just something effortless about women who have thin bodies, like if they put on a cute dress or something, versus a woman whose whole entire body just looks sloppy. I'm just saying, society is biased. So I'm not going to pretend like I live in a utopian society. No, I want access to every privilege that I can have access to. So why would I deprive myself of a privilege that is very easy to attain, like thin privilege? That is something that is completely under my control. So I can go to the doctor and get my thyroid checked. I can pay to sign up with Weight Watchers. So why would I deprive myself of a privilege that I can easily have access to if I want to? And this is a part of why a lot of fat women, when they lose weight, they lose friends, because by losing that weight, they're actually gaining access to a new privilege, which is thin privilege. So a lot of women, they're obviously jealous of social privileges, thin privilege being one of them. And for the people who say stuff like, oh, well, a lot of skinny women, they're bad bodied. They have no ass, or maybe they have like an apple shape or something. Okay, well, bitch, it still looks better than somebody who's obese and can't even fit into an airplane seat, or you can't even fit into your own car. So somebody having a little tiny stomach, or like a little bit of a shape, they're shaped like a ruler or something like that, that still looks better than looking sloppy and having 5 chins and the back of your neck looks like a pack of hot dogs. So you can miss me with the bullshit. And another thing is, when you are thin, your actual facial features become more prominent. So like, I remember when I was chunkier, like my nose literally looked bigger, my cheeks looked bigger, my chin looked bigger, my eyes looked smaller. So that's another aspect of losing weight. Like, a part of thin privilege is we can literally see your bone structure. People can literally see the shape of your chin or the shape of your face. Another thing about being skinny versus being fat is skinny women, I feel like we're more carefree because we're not constantly pulling and tugging at our clothes. Like, if a woman is fat, she's going to be constantly aware of her outfit. Everything's too tight. She's bursting out of her shirt. She's bursting out of her pants. She's hanging out of her bra. She's got armpit fat hanging out. She's hanging over the side of her jeans and shit. So she has a lot more body insecurities. Like, she's just more hyper aware of her body. She spends more time trying to hide certain parts of her body rather than trying to show off and flaunt certain parts of her body, like how you do when you're skinny. Like, as a skinny person, if I want to show off my arms today, I can just throw on a strapless top that costs $2 that I just bought from a thrift store. And then, I just call it a day, versus a woman who's 300 pounds. She can't just throw on a strapless top. She has to throw on a strapless top, an underwire bra, a girdle. She has to throw on a certain pair of jeans to make sure that she doesn't have the muffin top. Then she has to wear her hair a certain way so that you can't see her armpit fat or like the fat on her upper back. So she has to make sure that her hair is super long. That's another thing. I've noticed a lot of big women, they will sometimes try to wear their hair super long or super big to try to cover some of the rolls, like in the back. Don't ask how I know. But no, really, like they'll have to try to cover up some of the rolls and shit. They have to try to cover up all the armpit fat or whatever. So their hair has to be long and big, versus when you're skinny, you can kind of get away with having the super short hair. You don't have to worry about, oh crap, I have all these rolls on the back of my neck, so I don't want to have short hair, because then you'll be able to see this hot dog pack on the back of my neck. Then you'll be able to see the double chin from the side. So I need to have big hair so I can cover my side profile so you can't see how big my chin looks, so you can't see that I look like an iguana or that I look like a lizard from the side angle. So a lot of women who are big, they're spending all this time trying to cover their frog neck. And by the way, there's a difference between a BBW and a BW. Okay, so it's big, beautiful women versus beluga whales. So a BBW would be like Jordan Woods. So that's an example, or like Ashley Graham. That would be like a BBW. So you're big, but your face is still proportionate looking. You know, you still know how to take care of yourself. A lot of plus size models and stuff, they still work out. So don't be fooled like, oh, you're just hating on big, beautiful women. No, actually I'm not, because at least big, beautiful women work out. At least they get off their asses and go on a walk. Like if you follow Jordan Woods or if you follow Ashley Graham, I know Jordan Woods is skinny now, but it's like, if you follow those women, you'll see that they still work out. So they're still doing body recomp, or they're waist training, or doing whatever they need to do, fasting, I don't know, so that they can like keep their shape. Versus a woman who has literally just given up and she's super sloppy and then has the audacity to try to talk about things like, oh, hypergamy and social climbing and this is what I'm going to get. No, that's limerence. A lot of women who have unattractive bodies are going to stay in a constant state of limerence. A lot of women who don't like themselves and they don't like how they look, these are the most male-centered women. You guys saw the recent upload that I did about the woman who unalived herself. And, you know, a lot of women who are extremely male-centered, what they're doing is they're looking for external validation because they don't have a lot of sources of micro-validation. Skinny women have lots of sources of micro-validation of their body. You know why? Because when you turn on the TV, all the models, their bodies look like yours. All the IG girls, their bodies look closer to yours. When you go to the gym, the girls who are super fit and in shape, or the women who are considered pretty, their body looks closer to yours. That is a luxury that a lot of big women do not have. They don't have like that level of representation. And for the women who say, oh, well, I had kids, so, you know, my body looks different. Okay, having kids, that has nothing to do with you having a workout routine. You can still eat healthy after having kids. Like, children don't control your taste buds. Children do not control your diet. Children don't control your ability to go on a walk or do something basic. They have exercises for women who are pregnant. You can exercise when the baby is in your stomach. And I feel like a lot of people who are big, they get really mad because they feel like you're being fat phobic. And it's like, well, there's no one to blame but yourself because you control what food you put in your mouth. Like, nobody told you to eat 5 slices of pizza every day. Nobody told you to neglect going to the doctor and to not get your thyroid checked or to not get your hormones checked. Nobody told you to do that. So that's why sometimes people have a lack of empathy for people who are big, because sometimes big people, they make a whole bunch of excuses or they try to blame everybody else. Like, oh, well, it's the food. The food is so processed. Okay, well, you should have chose better. You know how they like telling us that? They like telling Exoticals who get unalived by black men, oh, should have chose better. Okay, so I can say the same thing about your diet. You should have chose better. You should have chose better than to eat the cupcake and the fried chicken wings 5 days in a row. Nobody told you to eat ham hocks and collard greens every single day. Well, actually, collard greens are not bad. Collard greens are high in protein, depending on how much butter and oil you put in them. But that's another thing. Like, you can spend your time trying to figure out how to do a healthier version of your favorite foods. That's what I did. So like, I know how to make collard greens now, and I make like a healthy version of them for myself. I know how to make healthy black-eyed peas that don't have a bunch of pork fat in them. So it's not skinny women's fault that the big women couldn't control themselves. And that's another thing. A lot of big women eat their feelings too. So a lot of women, they eat as a form of comfort, or they eat when it's time to celebrate, or they eat when they're bored. So no matter what, they're just eating 24/7. I have other things to look forward to in my life besides eating a cupcake. I have other forms of comfort besides binging on carbs. If I want comfort, I can go snuggle up in a blanket. I can get myself a cup of tea. I can drink a hot cup of black coffee. That's what I can do if I want to comfort myself. I can make myself some popcorn, even though I stopped eating popcorn a few months ago because of the butter content and the calories. I don't like the smart food popcorn, so yeah, don't recommend that in the comments section because I'm going to say that I'm not going to eat it. But if I want comfort, I find other ways to do that. If I want endorphins, I can just go to the gym. I can go on a walk. I can go sit outside on my patio. Those are different ways that I can get my endorphins. Like I had to train myself to find other ways to receive endorphins other than just eating sugar. So a lot of women who only get endorphins from eating sugar, they're bad at mentally disciplining themselves. They don't know how to train themselves to find other ways to be happy. Like if I want endorphins, I can just go to a yoga class and do some stretches. That makes me feel relaxed. If I want to feel relaxed, I don't have to have a huge plate of food in front of me in order to feel relaxed. Like I have other things that I have developed in my life that I can look forward to. So women who are very overweight, they have a bad social strategy when it comes to food. And this video, it's not geared towards just all the overweight women in general, because I know that overweight women on this channel are on their level up journeys and they're, doing different things to level themselves up. So that's not who I'm talking about when I'm talking my shit. All of my videos about weight, I'm more so talking shit about the women who literally have eating disorders. They have the audacity to talk about skinny women. Oh, you have an eating disorder because you're drinking collagen bone broth. And it's like, no, you have an eating disorder because you just ate 3,000 calories in one sitting. And that's only one meal. You eat like 5 meals a day and it's all processed and it has no nutrients to the point where you're literally making yourself sick. Who really has the eating disorder? Another thing that big women have to deal with is constant embarrassment. So shopping for clothes can be embarrassing because maybe they don't have their size, or like maybe they see something on the rack and then they're super excited, like, oh my God, that sweater is so cute. And then they put it on and then it just looks like they're wearing a burlap sack when they put it on their body. They just look like a sack of laundry. It doesn't look the same on them because their body doesn't look like the mannequin body. So a lot of big women, they've got social problems, psychological problems. Don't come into my comment section with the not all argument because nothing I say on YouTube is all. But in a lot of cases, yes, it's a psychological problem. It's an eating disorder. It's a lack of discipline. It is self-abandonment and self-neglect. Because a part of like being in your feminine energy is obviously you want your body to look beautiful and feminine, but also you want to know how to have like this healthy masculine energy as well, which is being disciplined, knowing when to tell yourself no, knowing how to have self-control. So if you are obese and you have no plans on changing it, that is a lack of self-control. I said what I said. So yeah, I'm not willing to have high blood pressure and gout and, get tumors and get all this crap just because I decided to eat badly and like not take care of my body, or because I neglected myself going to the doctor, or because like I didn't level up in my career or something. Maybe I have no health care. Even if you have no health care at your job, there are other ways that you can receive health care. They have public health clinics. They have like nonprofits that you can go to where you can get psychological help. You can get therapy for cheap or even for free in some cases. So yeah, why would I sabotage myself and not give myself access to thin privilege if I have the power to change myself? And something as simple as building muscle, like if I'm fat, when I was fat actually, the first thing I did, I was a size 12 at my very biggest. The first thing that I did, I just built my calf muscles. That was the very first thing that I did. So I would stand in my bedroom and I would stand on my tippy toes, like the toe raises. So I would do the toe raises. And then I became strong enough after doing toe raises, I became strong enough to go on walks. So then it was like, okay, I can go on a 40-minute walk now. I can go on a 30-minute walk. And then sometimes when I was feeling lazy and I didn't want to leave the house, I would just get on the bike machine. So I'm still sitting. So I can still sit and watch TV. I can still watch my telenovelas. And I'm just sitting on the bike this time. And I'm still moving my body. So that's another thing that leads to being fat. You're too lazy to even move your body. When I'm laying in the bed before I go to sleep, I will literally do stretches. So you're telling me you're that lazy with moving your body to the point where you're not even stretching, you're not even walking, you're not even getting your blood flowing, and you wonder why you have blood clots. So for the basic Betties at your job that are trying to be mean to you, of course she's being mean to you. She literally has blood clots in her legs right now from sitting at her cubicle all day. She literally has blood clots in her legs. Her stomach is filled with Crisco grease. She's literally trying to hold in her farts from eating all those chicken wings during her lunch break. So of course she's in a bad mood. Of course she's mean to you. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Are you a beluga whale? Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.